Hello and welcome back. This is another fifth grade math video, and this one's going to be focusing on how to multiply multi-digit numbers by one-digit numbers. Okay, here is our first example that we're going to do together. It's 424 times 2. And I'm going to show you two different ways you can go about this. You can either use what we call the standard algorithm, or you can use something called a box or array method, and I'll show you both of those. This first one is called the standard algorithm. That's where you take the number that has the most digits, in this case, 424. So I'm going to put that here and put that on top. And then you put the second number, the number with the less amount of digits, on the bottom. So what we do here is we start by multiplying the numbers that are in the ones place. So 4 times 2 would be 8. Now, if we get a double digit answer when we multiply, I'll show you what to do at that point. But with a single digit answer, we just have to write it down. The next thing I do is multiply the number on the top that's in the tens place by the number in the bottom that's on the ones place. So 2 times 2 would equal 4. Then my next step is to multiply the number in the hundreds place, which is 4, times the number on the bottom that's in the ones place, and that's the 2. So 4 times 2 would be 8. So once I've multiplied everything on the top by the 2 that's on the bottom, or the number on the bottom, I have my answer. This answer would be 848. All right, let me show you another way to do this using the box or array method. And that would be, since we have a 3-digit number here, we're going to split that number up and kind of rewrite it actually in expanded form. Expanded form is where you write the value of each digit as kind of like an addition, an addition sentence. So 424 has 400. It also has 20, and it has 4. So that's kind of how I split it up. 4 hundreds is 400, 2 tens is 20, and 4 ones is 4. So now that I've got that, I'm going to go ahead and make a column for each value, and I'm going to place the 2 on the outside. What we're going to do is get partial products, and then we're going to add those together. So for this box right here, what I need to do is add the number that's on the top, or sorry, not add, multiply the number that's on the top by the number that's off to the side. So 2 times 4 is 8, and then you would add those two zeros. And if you're not sure where I came up with that, check out a previous video I did on how to multiply numbers ending in zeros. So that would be 800. For this box, it's the number on top times the number out to the side. So 20 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and then I would add the 0 from the 20. This one, it's the number on the top times the number out to the side. 4 times 2 is 8. Then my last step would be to add all of these together. 800 plus 40 plus 8. So you can see either way, I ended up with an answer of 848. Okay, for this next example, I'm going to show you using the standard algorithm. So this one has a number of 300, and we're going to multiply that by 2. So 300 has more digits than 2, so I'm going to go ahead and put that up at the top, and then I'm going to put 2 down here and get ready to multiply that. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, I could just use the trick for numbers ending in zeros, and that's right, you can. I just wanted to show you what standard algorithm would look like for this. So first I would write or multiply 0 times 2. 0 times 2 is 0. Then I'd come over and multiply this 0 times 2, which is also 0. Then I'd multiply 3 times 2, which is 6. So my final answer here would be 600. Here's our next example. It's going to be 1001 times 3. And so for this one, again, I'll show you using the box or the array method, which means I need to kind of write expanded form for my first number or break it apart by place value. Since it has a 1 in the thousands place, that represents 1,000. It has no hundreds, so I don't need to represent that. And it has no tens, so I don't need to represent that. But it does have a 1 in the ones place, so I do need to account for that. So since I have two values or place values that I'm representing, I'm going to make my box have 2 columns. I'm going to put the 3 on the outside. So now I'm going to multiply the number on the top by the number on the side. 1 times 3 is 3, and then I would add those 3 zeros. So 1,000 times 3 is 3,000. For this one, I'd multiply the number on the top times the number over to the side. 1 times 3 is 3. My last step is to add those together. So I would have to add 3,000 plus 3, which should give me 3003. So that would be your answer for this one. Okay, here is our next one. I think for this one, I'm also going to show you how to do this with the box or area model. So I'm going to go ahead and take that 30,111 and break it up by place values. If I have a 3 in the 10,000s place, that is the same as having 30,000 or 3 10,000s. I have nothing or a 0 in the thousands, so no thousands need to be represented. A 1 in the hundreds place is representing 100. A 1 in the tens place represents 10, and a 1 in the ones place represents 1. So this number is going to actually have 4 place values that I need to multiply. And the number I'm multiplying by will go out here on the outside. So to multiply 30,000 times 2 for the first box, I would do 3 times 2, which is 6, and then add those 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the end. For the next box, I'd take 100 and multiply it by 2, so that would be 200. For the next box, it'd be 10 times 2, which is 20. And the last box would be 1 times 2, which is 2. So my next step is then to add all these together. So that means when I do that, I would end up with 60,222. And that would be the final answer for this one. Okay, here's the last one for today's video. For this one, I'm going to use the standard algorithm to show you this one. So I'm going to start with the number that has the most digits, and that would be the 75,762. So I'm going to go ahead and write that, 75,762. Now you may have noticed I didn't write the comma, and that's okay because I'm working with these numbers. I don't really have to write the comma if I find it distracting or confusing. And then I'm going to put the 5 here. And now we're ready to multiply. So first I'm going to multiply 2 times 5, which is 10. And what this gives me is a 2-digit answer. Now, when you get a 2-digit answer after multiplying, the number in the ones place goes down and the number in the tens place gets regrouped to the next place value. So I'm going to put the 0 down here under there, and I'm going to regroup the 1 on top of the next place value. So this one, oh, let me erase this over here. There we go. So now I need to multiply 6 times 5. So that's going to end up being 30. And then I have to add the 1 that got regrouped. So that's going to be plus 1, leaving me with 31. That means the 1 in the ones place goes down, and the 3 in the tens place goes to the next place value. So I'm going to put the 1 here and regroup that 3. Okay, now the next one. I'm going to end up multiplying 7 times 5, which is 35. And then I'm going to add the 3 that's on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. And I end up with 38. So that's another 2-digit answer, which means I'm going to put the 8 that's in the ones place down and regroup the 3 that's in the tens place. So the 8's going to go down here, and the 3 is going to go on top of this place value here. Okay, so let me go ahead and take that away. My next step is to multiply the 5 times the 5, which is 25. And then I have to add the 3 that got regrouped. So I'm going to do that, and I end up with 28. So another 2-digit answer. It means I need to bring down the 8 and go ahead and regroup the 2. So the 8's going to come down here, and the 2 is going to go on top of that place value. All right, last one to multiply. Let me go ahead and take that away. 7 times, whoops, wrong one. There we go. 7 times 5 is 35. So I'm going to go ahead and write that. And then I have to add the 2 that's on the top of that place value, which gives me 37. So again, the 7 gets dropped down and the 3 gets regrouped. So I'm going to leave the 7 down here and regroup the 3 to the top of this place value. Now the problem is there's no more numbers to hold that next place value up. So it's just going to fall straight down and land right here. So if you ever do regrouping and then there's nothing to hold it, it's just going to fall straight down. So my final answer here would be 378,810. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Hope to see you again soon.